Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes new eyeshadow palettes. I have been impatiently waiting for this palette to arrive on my doorstep. It is the first time I have ever purchased from this brand, and this palette, as soon as it was released, I said, come to mama. I knew that I needed this palette in my collection, and I was really excited to try out this brand. I've heard really good things about it, and I'm excited to see if it lives up to the hype. And that is from the brand Beaute Bar, and that is the Basic Witch palette. Now, I love Halloween. I love Halloween anything. I have a skull on my workout shirt today. And this palette is everything I ever needed a Halloween palette to be. I am going to go ahead and insert close-ups for you. I think the outside packaging is pretty. It just says Basic Witch in pink glitter writing, and then there's the Beaute Bar logo embossed on the back. There is a mirror in the palette, and then let's just talk about this color story. This is Halloween. We have purples, pinks, greens, blues, oranges, blacks, all of the traditional quintessential Halloween colors, and the shimmers in this palette, they are so sparkly and so beautiful and shifty. We have duochromes, we have multi-chromes. When I swatched this palette and tapped into the first matte shade up in the corner, orange, the orange shade, that is the shade Grimoire. As soon as I touched it, I went, ooh, it is just so buttery soft. This palette swatches beautifully. Really some of the best swatches I've done in a very long time. And then the shimmers, they just blew me away even in the swatches. I cannot wait to put this palette on my eyes. I do have a 10% discount code for Beaute Bar. I will put it down below for you. It's the code I use to purchase my palette. And like I said, I can't wait to test this out with you, put this on my eyes. So if you're excited to see my first impression, honest review tutorial with the Basic Witch palette, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Again, I will link the palette in the description box with 10% off all of my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing in today's video. If you would like to recreate this look, discounts to my favorite indie makeup brands, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. So let me zoom you on in and let's test out Beaute Bar's Basic Witch palette. So the first thing I'm going to do, as always, is prime my eyes with my MAC paint pot in Painterly. Now, I always use an eyeshadow primer. It just keeps my shadow in place and really just helps with the true opacity and prevents any of these fun wet shimmers from creasing. Now, I always say that the hardest part is deciding what colors I want to use. I really want to use a lot of the mattes in this palette and a lot of the shimmers, and I want to do a Halloween look. I want to use the purples, the oranges, the greens, the black. I really want to bring Halloween into today's look. I'm going to go ahead and start with the shade Grimoire, the one that I swatched first and literally gasped at how soft and buttery it was. I'm going to pick that up on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to focus that just on the inner 1/3 of my crease. So I'm going to leave my lid blank for shimmers. I do want to I want to make like a 3 different colored crease. So I'm going to start with Grimoire here on the inner portion. Look how pretty that color is. That's very beautiful and very opaque. Now, I just came home from my workout. I do work out at 5 a.m. outside in the morning here in Arizona at my boot camp. So I just finished that. I think, going to wear a Halloween shirt today since we're using a Halloween palette. I have a few errands that I need to run. I have a few coaching calls. If you didn't know, I'm a weight loss and nutrition coach. So I do have quite a few clients that I help with their health goals. So I do have 5 or 6 calls today, getting ready to head out to Hawaii on Friday. And so I'm getting these calls done so that I can go on my trip. Cleaning off that fluffy brush, I'm going to go into this shade here. Oh, this shade is so pretty. Creep It Real. It is a mix between an olive and kind of a neon-y green. It's like baby poop color. I really like it. And I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Wow, look at that. And focus that on the middle third of my crease. I'm leaving this all blank still because I'm going to pull in one more matte. Now Now we do have a little bit of kick up in the pan, which is very normal, especially for a very pigmented shade, which I'm never mad about kick up. It usually means the shades are nice and pigmented, and this shade certainly is. Just make sure that you're tapping your brush off just to avoid as much fallout as possible. Then for the outer portion, for that deeper shade, I'm going to pick up the dark purple called Hexate, and I'm picking that up on a flat angled brush so that I can really tap that on and then blend it over towards the green. Again, just focusing on the crease, still leaving that lid blank for Shimmers. Now this purple shade, that was one tap in, and I always tell you guys, purples are really hard to formulate. They usually end up pretty patchy. This is not patchy at all. It's very, very beautiful. It's very pigmented. It's very opaque, and it is applying like perfection. With that same fluffy brush that we used for our green and orange shade, I'm going to pick up the light purple called Hex, and I'm going to use that just to blend the edges. So I'm going to put that right here above all those shades and just blend. Now it's a really light shade, so it's just going to serve as a really good blending shade, and it is working beautifully. Now, as always, I'm going to use my NYX glitter glue. I always put down a glitter glue before I apply any shimmer to my eye. Kind of like my eye primer, glitter glue just really keeps everything in place, especially if you have those wet foiled shades or even some of those more chunky glittery shades. Glitter glue, in my opinion, is a must. And let me just tell you, we have some amazing shimmers in this palette. This shade here, Resting Witch Face, is a multi-chrome. It shifts from blue to green to purple. This shade down here shifts from blue to green to kind of a mint green. There are some absolutely stunning shimmers in here. It's so hard to decide what I want to do. I really, really want to use this shade here called Cauldron. Look at that. That is so pretty. I definitely want to use that shade. I'm going to apply it with my finger to test out finger application, and I'm going to place that shade on this half of my lid, stopping where the green and orange meet, and also stopping at the purple. Not to put, I don't want to put shimmer over that purple shade on my lid. And can we just talk about how stunning this is? Wow, that is absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful. I honestly have to say that is one of the prettiest multi-chrome shimmery shades I have ever used. It is so buttery soft. It applied beautifully with my finger. And then I'm going to pick up that other multi-chrome Resting Witch Face, and this time I'm going to pick it up on a brush to test out brush application, and that's going to go on the inner portion of my lid. It's going to bring in a little bit of the pinks and the oranges and a little bit of the purple as well. Ooh, that is so beautiful. Now that also picked up really beautifully with the brush, and I'm just kind of pulling that over towards Resting Witch Face just to seamlessly blend those two shimmers on my lid. And then I want to go into the pink shimmer called Witch Please. That is such a cute name. Also picking that up on my brush, I want to just tap that in the middle and pull in some of the pinky blue purple. Oh my goodness. That is a shifty shade. I see pink, I see purple, I see blue. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. That is prettier than I expected it to be. And again, I'm just tapping that on right in the middle. I still want all of the other shimmer shades to come through, but I think that just added a perfect extra touch. I'm going to go back into that shade Hexate, the purple that we used, the matte on the outer corner, and I'm going to start by buffing that on my lower lash line, just kind of tying it into the outer corner. And I'm going to stop about halfway. I'm not going to bring that across my entire lower lash line. And then back into the green Creep It Real. I'm going to use that to buff on the rest of my lower lash line. Again, kind of using both the green and the purple. I mean, how beautiful is that? That is so fun, so Halloween. I do want to pop a shimmer on my lower lash line as well and then do an inner corner highlight. So I think I'm going to pick up the shade Incarnation, this shimmer shade, which looks like a shift from pink to gold to orange, because I do want to pull in a little orange since we have the orange on the inner portion of our lid. And I'm going to actually buff that across both the purple and the green. And then inner corner highlight, I have to use the shimmer Hocus Pocus because it has a mix of all of the colors on our lid. It is a multi-chrome in the palette, and I'm going to pop that on the inner corner. Yes, 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 and yes. Oh my goodness, these shimmers. These shimmers. And just for one more thing, just for one more little bit of depth, I do want to use the shade Black Cat. Now, this is an interesting shade. It is not black. It is more of a brown black. It's a really, really dark brown leaning towards black, but it's very unique to my collection. And I'm going to just tap that with that same angled brush we used with the purple shade, just on the outer corner, just to add just a tiny bit more depth. And I wanted to test out layering that Black Cat shade over the purple, and it's perfection. So here's our completed eye look. Let me go ahead and do liner, mascara. I think I'm gonna pop on some lashes, pop a color in the waterline, get ready for the day, and I'll be back to share with you my first impression thoughts on Bella Beaute Bar, as well as the basic witch palette. So I am dressed and ready for the day, channeling all of my Halloween vibes. I do have these really fun skull earrings. I think I got these on Shein last year, and then my shirt is actually from Shein as well. So we're gonna talk about the Halloween basic witch palette from Bella Beaute Bar. Now, like I mentioned, this is my first time using a Bella Beaute Bar palette. I have seen so many amazing reviews and heard so many things about this brand, saying that they are incredible, that they knock it out of the park, the mattes, the shimmers. So when I saw that this palette was released and the color story just was everything I wanted in a Halloween palette, and really you could use this palette year round, super versatile, I knew I had to have it. And let me tell you, this is one of the best Halloween palettes that I have used this year. I really loved my Gourmand Girls Haunted palette. That was amazing as well. I have a full tutorial on that palette. I'll link it down below for you. But honestly, so far in 2023, this is my favorite Halloween palette. Everything about this palette is perfection. The mattes, the shimmers, I love that there's different textures in the shimmers. There's multi-chromes, there's duochromes, there's shifty shades, there's sparkly shades. The matte selection is a 10 out of 10. We have light mattes, mid-tone, deep. We have everything. I love this Black Cat shade, that this is really like a deep dark brown, not just your traditional black matte. It's incredible. It's absolutely beautiful. I want to use this all of the time, and I think my look today turned out beautifully. It screams Halloween, but it's different. It's a different look for me when it comes to Halloween, using all those different mattes in my crease and then buffing those different colors on the lower lash line. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the Bella Beaute Bar brand. I'm obsessed with the Basic Witch palette. If you're gonna get one Halloween palette this year, I think this is the one that you should get. And like I said, I did find a 10% off discount code. I'll link it down below for you. 10 out of 10. I am so excited to see what Bella Beaute Bar releases in the future. I have a feeling that this is quickly going to become another one of my favorite indie brands. Let me know down below, did you pick up the Basic Witch palette? Or did my review and tutorial sway you to pick it up for yourself? And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on, and don't forget to check out the description box where I'll link the palette with 10% off, all of my favorite beauty subscription boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today, including this fun purple lip from Unearthly Cosmetics, and come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. This is this year's go-to Halloween palette.